Joel Harris. I'm talking about today the history of giants and the Nephilim. I've been researching this for quite a while, and I just want to tell you some of the things I've found. Hope you find it interesting. Long ago, when the earth was young and things were different than they are today, they were bigger. They were bigger plants, bigger insects, bigger animals, and bigger people, which were called giants. An example of this is that there are fossil records of alligators as big as a house, kangaroos 3 times as big as normal human beings, and even lobsters that were bigger than the average human being. Pretty scary. The environmental and atmospheric conditions before the flood were very beneficial to the species and allowed them to grow greater in size. Scientists have recently created in small areas the atmospheric conditions that were similar to those back with the young Earth, and have been able to grow large fish and other animals that could not exist in our present conditions. The Bible talks about giants first in Genesis 6:4. It says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became men, mighty men, which are men of old, men of renown." And when that happened, basically the angels that were fallen on the earth had mated with human women and bare children that were giants. So that's where the genetic lineage comes from. Races all over the world share stories of giants of old. Men at the smallest were twice the size of today's average man. These giants were found to live in Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, North America, Central America, and South America. Everywhere there were stories passed down from generation to generation. These giants were said to be highly developed intellectually, artistically, and physically. They were said to have powers over birds and animals, which may come from their angelic history. History said that these giants misbehaved, and God decided to abolish them and replace them with ordinary human beings. They were known to be very violent people, and were also, early records say, many of them were cannibals. People of regular height feared them and regularly fought against them, sometimes wiping out whole villages of giants. It is said that the great flood of Noah's day was told by the Bible is what killed off the majority of the giant race. Later, after the flood during the time of Joshua and the people of Israel, giants are mentioned again in the land of Canaan. It's mentioned that the Israeli spies went to Canaan and said everything was big there, and they felt they were grasshoppers compared to the height and size of Canaanite giants. In the Bible, it speaks also of Og, of king of Bashan, where giants lived, where his iron bedstead measured 15.4 feet long, which means he was about 15 feet in height. That's Deuteronomy 3:11 and 13. The giant Goliath, whom David the Israelite killed with stones and a sling, he was 10 feet tall, and that was 1 Samuel 17:4. Also, Benaiah is mentioned as the hero of David's army who slew an Egyptian giant 8.5 feet tall in 1 Chronicles 11:23. The American Indians told Buffalo Bill in 1879 about a race of men who were 3 times bigger than that of the race of Indians, who could run alongside a buffalo, scoop one up in their hands, tear off a leg, and eat it while they were walking alongside the road. In Africa, there's stories of men who could look over the tops of trees as they were so tall. I've done research from both the internet and a book called Lost World of Giants, which I have here. That's the book by Jonathan Gray. There have been bones, skeletons, and other body parts like teeth that have been found all over the world from giants ranging in size from 7 feet tall all the way up to the body parts fitting bodies that were almost 36 feet tall, which is the tallest they know of. And that's as tall as a building or taller than some. Amazing. One interesting fact is that many of the giant fossils of man found had skulls and with double rows of teeth, and hands with 6 fingers and feet with 6 toes on them. It's very common. There have been archaeological finds of large buildings and things with large chairs that are stone chairs found. They were occupied by large men. Large tools have been found all over the place, and war weapons like spears and knives and swords and things that were really big. They had to come from men that were very large because they were very heavy and very big in their sheer size. Estimating the size of an average giant, they would have weighed between 700 to 1,000 pounds, and some even larger than that were really tall. They are very strong and able to move big stones and logs by hand. It is thought that stone monuments like Stonehenge may have been built by giants. These giants, some of them lived when dinosaurs were still around. There are footprints of humans at the same level as dinosaurs, sometimes inside of the dinosaur prints in old limestone remains. I'm fascinated with the history of giants, and I hope you are too. If you want to learn more, just visit the internet and type in giants or Nephilim, which is spelled Nephilim. Thanks, and hope you enjoyed the presentation of A Taste of Giant History. Feel free to leave your comments. Thanks. Bye.